I'd never be guilty of being late. No, it is not in my nature to be late. Can you hear? I got microphone now. I had to back out and back on in. How about that? I can't even tell, man. No sound, huh? How about now? Yeah, I got it fixed. You know what? For being a dumb motherfucker, I'm doing all right, right? I was trying to tell these people we were dumb. They don't believe us. You know what I mean? And I know some of you guys are overly educated, and it's not because you were forced to go to school. I know a lot of you wanted to go to school because of the prestige involved. I don't know. All right, so okay, so I was telling stories, man. We were talking about Kuwait, and then suddenly we went radio silent. I don't know. Maybe the thing didn't work the whole time. I was trying to talk about setting up in either Kuwait or it was Saudi Arabia. And there was a master sergeant that I guess I shouldn't be talking about this guy because he's setting all the alarms off. What the hell? I'm gonna have to mute up for a second. Figure. Yeah, I muted it because the damn dogs are barking. But they're gonna start barking again because it's like midnight, 1. And it's always like a dude walking in the street, and he's gonna make the dogs go fucking crazy. So what we do here is, since we have lights that turn on, motion sensors, cameras everywhere, and lights. I typically use a flashlight out here. If a dude looks suspicious and is like sneaking around and shit, we'll turn the fucking lights on and they do an about face and get the fuck out of here as fast as possible. And see, I don't have to do shit either. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you think about where I am and what the hell we're doing here, there's really no reason to even want to even fuck with us. Not at all. We're always in uniform. We always look like we're going to whip your ass. And we're always outside fighting. So you have to learn to pick your battles around here. I'm not even kidding. Now, if you guys follow exactly what it is that I do, you'll see that being in the fire brigade doesn't just include doing firefighter stuff, because you got to be fit. You got to be in physical condition well enough to do something that would get you in the military. So sound is back, which is good. You didn't miss anything because we're not telling lies. We're not telling those stories. None of that shit. Okay. I was talking about what it says on my DD 214. I was saying the medals that I have with oak leaf clusters, I have one medal for heroism, and I have Southwest Asia Service Medal. I do not have the Kuwaiti Liberation Medal, so no, I don't have that. That made me upset that I was like that far away from that rotation. So I have quite a bit of medals, mostly overseas medals. Let's see, Joint Task Force medals. Jeez. Humanitarian medals. It was not Kuwaiti Liberation Medal. What the hell was it called? I'm not talking about national defense. Everybody's given that by default, not that one. That's why I looked jacked. Oh, that's why I look jacked. Oh, okay. It's good, man. Yeah, man. And you know what? I'm hopefully going to live a little bit longer. Okay. Something about it is making me want to stay. You know what I mean? Because bodybuilding has been the only thing that I've been very good at. And you know how we always talk about family members can sometimes be your worst critics. And sometimes they're so bad, it's best to get the fuck away from them. I've known that for a fact because, I think about alienation. Okay. Now, my adopted father had a wife that he married that when I came back from the military, I was still fucking trying to cover from the war. And I was drinking like around the clock. So I show up at their house, drunk as fuck, it's 7 a.m. or some shit. I've been out all night. And I walk inside the house and she's like mopping. And then she starts yelling at me. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, bitch. You're only with him because of his money. And this woman told my adopted father that I threatened to kill her. So for all these years, I was not aware. I called her a gold digger. That's exactly what I said about her. And he didn't talk to me. And I was like, what the fuck is with this guy? So for all these years, I did not know that she had lied about me. So when I talked to him last year, I was like, that whole situation was like, this bitch came at me in your house. And then you allowed her to influence you to alienate me all these years. Really? So that just tells me it was a setup. The whole thing was a fucking setup. And you know what? I don't blame him, because this is a dude that married my fucking whore mother. That was a toddler. That was a liar and an alcoholic. So I really had no relationship with these people. So I don't blame them. I was just an adopted piece of shit kid. However, I was a pain in the ass. And anything and everything you can just imagine that a kid would do to piss off to the point where a parent would hate their fucking kid, that would be me. Because I was a fucking punk. I acted like an autistic spaz. And they didn't know how to deal with me because I was 500 times as fucking as intelligent as these fucking people. So that's why the distance, and that's why the alienation. That's why these people never called me. I mean, I was deployed to the fucking war. I come back, and it's like one of them wants to talk about it's just so silly to me. It would be the same as if you came back home, said, "Hey, mom and dad, I just got back from the war. I didn't die." And they're, "Oh, that's great. Hey, you know what? Let me tell you about my bowling score." That's just how much they don't give a flying fuck. And you know what's interesting? And I'm loving this. I'm loving this now because here I am 50 years old now. And I'm still in shape. But one of the things that really kind of like told me, look, that's your adopted father who has a natural son. And his son can do no wrong. He's never done anything to accomplish anything in his life. And he's kind of embarrassed that his own son hasn't done anything with himself except get hooked on fucking heroin and be a DJ. And was sober for a short period of time and had a darling of a fucking woman, but that was too boring for him. So what'd he do? Heroin. And he would defend this boy, and he will minimize any of my efforts whatsoever. And you know what's funny? It's true. I had this conversation with one of my good friends that has been around the YouTube for me for years. And this is a dude that is not related to me, but he is on the up and up with me. So it's not going to be very hard. You know what I mean? It's like verify. And he mentioned something that was important. And it's important that people take you fucking seriously when you talk about your DD-214. No, and then I'm talking about somebody with one fucking ribbon that spent more time in the fucking bathroom than they did doing anything in military service, and they were never stationed overseas. You know, that doesn't have 200-page fucking medical record. Who was not in the fucking Saudi Arabian fucking hospital or airlifted fucking Germany. None of that shit. Nothing. And that is annoying to me because I don't go out of my way to talk about, oh yeah, we do all this in the military. No one gives a fuck. The only thing that they give a fuck about what it is that you are now, who it is you become. I have taken the hardest life. And you know what's funny is like, this guy's mentioning to me too, is like, you know, veterans charities, they help all these veterans out with money and stuff. And I thought about how long I was homeless until we were awarded the VA pension. So no, disability was a necessary evil for many of veterans. And there is no fucking around because all it is takes one look at your DD-214 and your separation, all the separation paperwork and your medical records. And they make a determination right there. It's like a bodybuilding show. Before you even get on stage, while you're getting weighed, they're already judging you. They already know who their first place person is. That's what it is. The minute you step foot out of the military, I stepped foot out of the military, and that's exactly what happened. My life was on hold. I wasn't able to do anything. Pay child support? No. I was in the goddamn hospital. That's where the fuck I was. Where I was today? I was in a hospital. That's where I was today. Want to know where I'm going to be tomorrow? I'm going to be in the hospital tomorrow. And then, oh, this is even better because this is where things, I think, go over the edge for some people. And this is where an Uno card comes in handy. You got an Uno card, you guys? Because if you don't have an Uno card, I want to give you one. But I need you I need you to give me something. Tell me something that you would want to have a Uno card reversal. Because think about it, guys. If you Uno card reverse your ex and you had a kid with her, that means the trajectory of your life is going to affect your daughter or your son or whoever. So if I take you back in time and go back to that shitty relationship that you put yourself through and say, okay, you're about to go to the bar and meet this girl. She's going to suck your dick in the parking lot and you're going to be engaged in a month. Do you want the Uno card or not? And I'm going to tell you guys something. There has been an 80-20 split. People wanting to make a decision on really what would I do if I could reverse all the dumb shit I'd ever done. And it's possible. You know what I mean? It's not like being born again, where you have this whole like spiritual experience at a church, where you suddenly have this emotional outpouring when the Spirit of God hits you. And then you fall and you cry and you go through all this stuff. And then you go through all the trouble of getting baptized in front of everybody, going to Sunday school, learning about the Bible and all that stuff, only to find out much later that there's Anunnaki and all the stuff that was discovered that was much older and connected to. And so, yes, there's that. So I am not going to minimize the power of God or his ability to take me wherever it is I need to go. So without any further ado, let's not talk any more bullshit. And I need a person who wants to throw a Uno card memory that wants to get taken away, because I got an Uno card with your name on it. Okay? Everyone has an Uno card moment where they want a reversal, a mulligan, a do-over. And if they really took into consideration, if they had that opportunity to really do over something, to start their life over again in the position they would like to be in, not the position that, you know, their mother dictated to them or their school dictated to them. I can't see right now. And I don't know if you guys knew this. I'm going to tell you again if I didn't. You lost your ex-girlfriend to heroin. Yeah, man, I made it back, but I did not come back. I'm not even going to lie. And I'm not going to tell you and minimize none of that shit either. So, yes, women work magic behind your back, and they will do it to you. They're doing it on purpose too, because they want to extract resources from you. They can't do anything or build anything by themselves. So they have to copy, they have to steal. There's no two ways around it. A woman that's going to sacrifice having a kid in place of going to college is going to fail miserably as a mother. Because once they got that degree, they meet that guy. Let's do this the other way around. Let's say boy meets girl, high school. They say, okay, we're going to go to chiropractor school, I guess, or veterinary school, or whatever. So they're in veterinary school together. He's busting his ass working at 7-Eleven. She is studying. He's doing half-ass in school, but he wants to be a veterinarian too. However, this motherfucker is going to sacrifice his life to support her financially while she's busy messing around Chad and Tyrone into fucking junior college, if they even call that anymore, and hoping that she doesn't end up getting pregnant by one of these guys that she's doing in the parking lot at the FIU campus. By the way, I'm making this up. This is all satire. So it's not real, and I'm talking about anybody. But if you did want to go to veterinary school, you're going to sacrifice X amount of years of your life. At the end, you have to basically work for yourself, and you have to gain all of your clients. And you're going to make $35 a client every time you see a dog. So you're going to probably make about $350 a week after taxes and after all of your expenses. That's how much you're going to make. $350 a week, take home. That is assuming that you either own your own space in a medical center, which is the only place I'd ever have one. Even in a fucking mall, guys. I'm telling you, that's where the money's at. Oh, that's right. You don't have malls anymore. What the fuck happened to all the malls in the States? Heard they got rid of all the malls. Yep, they got rid of all the malls. So I still go to malls when I'm in other countries. And the malls are beautiful. I love malls, man. Who didn't grow up in a mall where you played video games and chased girls? Who didn't? You didn't go, you didn't hang out in arcades and play video games? Arcade games were a lifeblood. It smelled so good inside of a roller rink that had carpet on the walls, smelled like dust, and video games and popcorn. Roller skating rink, dude. Skating rink, man. And 80s, you know what I mean? 80s music. The lights are down low. The fucking lights on the ceiling are going crazy. I'm probably about 9, 10 years old, learning how to skate. And when you're good, you learn to be crazy. So that's what I did. Love skating rinks, man. And I just think that they're the best exercise for people that are lazy. And it's a fun thing for kids to do, to fall down and get hurt a lot, like bust their ass, fall on your knees, fall on your face. It's always good for a kid to experience some kind of like displeasure during an activity so they can experience their real happiness when they become an expert, because it takes a lot of fucking falling down and getting your ass kicked, getting choked out. You know how many times that I'm not even talking about like just going back to jiu-jitsu school, for example, and just being the oldest guy in the whole class. Everybody there they start off blue belts, you know what I mean? There's a brown belt, there's a purple belt that's a lady, the instructor's a black belt, all his people are black belts. And you know what I mean? And it's just dudes that are just shredded and they got cardio for days. And I'm like 110 kilos, fat as fuck. You know what I mean? Off season. I want to go to jiu-jitsu class because I'm so big and I have claustrophobia. But when you're in uniform and you got to go do some shit that's like passing through this fucking rung and a ladder, you got to be shredded. So I was just like so arrogant. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go win another fucking bodybuilding show, which all it means is winning a bodybuilding show on an amateur level. It's like going and winning a plastic trophy, you know, getting yourself dieting down, going through all that fucking trouble, getting as big as possible, you know, getting tans and sprays and shit to tan your skin, and then traveling fucking far to go to a competition that isn't even going to pay you unless you win first place in your category and in the overall. So unless you are willing to just die for your diet and being jailed to your diet and train all the fucking time, have no life. Anytime you go out to dinner, it's like you're the one there with like a pouch of fucking tuna or salmon or some shit while all your friends are eating normal and you're grossing them out. I've done it all. And you know what the result is? Is that vanity, idolatry, wickedness, all of it's part of that whole environment. And if that's not something you want to be around, competition bodybuilding is nothing for you. Another thing is another side of bodybuilding is drugs. Now, I'm talking about illegal drugs that make people addictive and make people not do well in life. And that would be cocaine or speed or whatever it's called now, heroin, because a lot of bodybuilders, they end up hurting themselves, injuring, getting these massive injuries to their knees, their backs, their shoulders. And so they end up getting hooked on painkillers. Then the painkillers stop working, they switch to heroin. So a lot of people die from a bad back. A lot of bodybuilders die from a bad back. No question about it. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to go to bed. I appreciate your time tonight being up here with the late night alumni. It started off at 12 o'clock on the dot, and now it is 12:46. I hope that you got a little bit out of what I had to say tonight, and I appreciate you. Out.